There was a specific moment. You don't remember exactly when it happened, but at some point you just stopped. You stopped being the one who texts first. You stopped checking in. You stopped making plans. And here's the part that nobody talks about. Nobody noticed. Not one person reached out and said, "Hey, I haven't heard from you." Not one. And maybe you even tested it. Maybe you told yourself, if someone reaches out in the next week, I'll start trying again. The week passed. So what does that mean? Does it mean nobody cares? Does it mean the friendships were fake? Or does it mean something even more uncomfortable? That modern relationships have quietly broken down in a way we haven't fully admitted yet. That's what we're getting into today. Psychologists call this emotional reciprocity. The unspoken contract in every relationship that says, I reach out, you reach out, I invest, you invest. When that contract feels one-sided for long enough, your brain does something protective. It withdraws, not out of anger, not out of ego, but out of self-preservation. There's a concept in attachment theory called avoidant withdrawal, where repeated emotional disappointment trains you to stop seeking connection altogether. You're not being cold, you're being conditioned. Every unanswered text, every plan that fell through, every time you were the one who cared more, your brain filed it away. And after enough data points, it made a decision without telling you, stop trying. Here's what makes this generation different. We have more ways to stay connected than any humans in history. Group chats, stories, DMs, reels. You can see exactly what your friends are doing in real time every single day. And yet, the loneliness statistics are the worst ever recorded. Why? Because visibility is not the same as connection. Watching someone's highlight reel is not the same as them asking how you actually are. Leaving a reaction emoji is not the same as checking in. We've replaced depth with frequency. We've replaced conversation with content. And slowly, without anyone deciding it, real intimacy, the kind where someone knows what you're actually going through, became rare. So when you stopped texting first, part of you already knew, this isn't a real connection anyway. There's a painful pattern that shows up in almost every social circle. There are givers and there are receivers. Givers are the ones who remember birthdays, who initiate, who check in, who show up. Receivers, they're not bad people. They're just used to being shown up for. They never had to build the muscle of reaching out because someone always did it for them. And you, if you're watching this, there's a very good chance you've been the giver for most of your life. The reliable one. The one who keeps things together. And at some point, the exhaustion of being the one who always cares more becomes heavier than the loneliness of pulling back. So you pulled back, and nobody came after you because they never had to. Here's where it gets dangerous. When you stop reaching out and nobody follows, your brain doesn't conclude those weren't real friends. Your brain concludes, I'm not worth reaching out to. That's the trap. The withdrawal that was supposed to protect you starts to become proof of your own unworthiness. You start to believe the silence, and then the loop closes. You stop reaching out, nobody reaches out, you feel unseen, you pull back further, you become even harder to reach, and the silence gets louder. Psychologists call this the isolation spiral. It's not dramatic, it doesn't happen overnight, it's quiet, gradual, and by the time you notice it, you're in deep. The loneliness isn't just about missing people. It's about losing faith that anyone would want to be reached for you. Now I want to be honest with you about something. Some people in your life are just bad at reaching out. They're in their own spirals, their own silence, and they assumed you were fine because you always seemed fine. But some people, and this is the part that hurts, simply didn't think to. Not because they hate you, but because in today's world, out of sight genuinely means out of mind. We are all competing for attention, from algorithms, from notifications, from the 1,000 things demanding our focus at every moment. And relationships that aren't actively maintained die quietly, not with a fight, not with a goodbye, just with a slow fade. You became a fade. And the question you have to sit with is, were these people actually your friends? Or were they just familiar faces you kept showing up for? Because those are two very different things. I'm not going to tell you to reach out first again or be vulnerable or build your tribe. That's not what this is. What I want to say is this. The fact that you stopped, that's not weakness. That's your nervous system protecting itself from a pattern it recognized as painful. But the story your brain tells you after, that nobody would care, that you're not worth reaching out to, that part is a lie. It's a conclusion drawn from bad data. You weren't surrounded by people who loved you deeply and they all chose to ignore you. You were surrounded by people who were also drowning, in their phones, in their routines, in their own silent withdrawals. That doesn't fix the loneliness, but it changes what the loneliness means. You didn't stop texting first because you aren't worth it. You stopped because you got tired of being the only one who believed you were. And if you're sitting here right now recognizing yourself in this, you're not broken, you're just tired. And there's a difference. If this video hits something real, watch this one next. It goes deeper into why modern life is making everyone feel invisible. I'll see you there.